Hey guys, welcome to another video, another crochet market prep type video. This week I just kind of wanted to lock in and crochet some of the bigger projects. Even though these plushies are small, it's still a longer time frame to complete these plushies. My next market is September 7th and 8th, I believe, or 6th and 7th, whatever that weekend is, like the first weekend in September. And I just wanted to make sure that I had a bunch of different options for bigger plushies like these that have like a lot of sewing. I think I mentioned in the last video or the video before last that I'm kind of over the no sew, low sew crochet plushie things, just because I feel like whenever I go to market, there's always inevitably one or two other crocheters there, and if we're all crocheting loaf cats and leggy frogs and stuff like that, it's just no fun for the viewers. Well, not the viewers, but for the shoppers. People don't want to go from one booth to the next and see the same thing. So even if they're doing those types of projects, that market has already been filled, and there is a gap for kind of bigger plushies that people don't normally see. I think that people do see sharks, but even when I go to markets, I see a lot of crocheters that crochet similar things that I see on Instagram. So as you guys saw there, I had a red, a brown, a yellow to make that strawberry there from an Etsy pattern that I purchased like last year that I never made. And then with the yellow and the brown, I'm just making another one of these giraffes. This is actually one of my favorite patterns from AQ Crochets on Etsy. I've made like at least 8 or 9 of these giraffes ever since I bought the pattern. I think it turns out super cute. A lot of people like the way that it looks, that the overall design of it is really ingenious, and I think that they do have a lot of other patterns. I have their bunnies with hats pattern, and I also have their cat pattern, and there's also a duck with hats, a ducks with a hat pattern on their Etsy. So I definitely recommend checking their Etsy out. They have a lot of different things that have a wide variety of uses for people. Like, let's say you don't like the giraffe or you don't really like to make these types of animals, they do have other things. They have interactive patterns, like the hats can come off of the ducks and rabbits. Also went ahead and finished up some of these smaller plushies that I made like last week or a few days ago. I can't remember exactly when I made these, but I went ahead and put the tags on everything, eyes on everything, small details like the little cherries on these rolls. Recently I've started just adding the tags and eyes onto everything, blush included, just to keep myself from having to rush to get everything done at the end, like the night before the market, because I have so many projects that are done that if I have to stop to put eyes and blush on everything, it just takes entirely too long, especially for small projects like these that just need a little bitty nose. If that's not on there, I can't sell it. Alright, so right now I'm about to get started on this giant sloth pattern. This is by Curious Papaya. I've made one of these before in this style with like a dark brown yarn and a white face, but I think I want to use up this yarn here. I got this a while ago. I don't know if I put this in a video, but I definitely posted on my story that this wasn't the color that I thought it was going to be, and this came to my house more of like a grayish, like bluish, purpley undertone color. So I'm just going to use this for the sloth. I also did get a comment on, I don't know if it was my Instagram or my DM, saying that I should make a hippo out of this color as well, and I do have the Crochet by Jenna hippo pattern, so I am going to be working on one of those this week. This video is probably not going to be out Tuesday just because I want to make a bunch of stuff this week, and then also it's getting down to the wire for my 2-day market and I barely have anything. So I was going between these two, but I feel like I always have these at my markets. I want to have something different, and I think that these should be around the same price. Around like $40-ish maybe. I'll just have to see how long it takes, but yeah, I do have this color for a sloth, and then I also have this color here, which is an old skein that I bought a really long time ago, obviously. But yeah, this is just the color Silver by Loops and Threads. This is a Sweet Snuggles Light, and then I'm going to use this color. I'm going to use this color first just because this is more of a traditional color sloth, and like I said in my previous vlogs, whenever I'm making animals, I always try to make the traditional color for the animals, so like green for frogs, gray for elephants. So far today I've done the giraffe. I finished up my 2 sharks that I made last night, and then I also finished off those 10 little roll cakes. I feel like I did something else. Oh, and I also made the little strawberry thing. So I've been kind of busy today. I've been locked in. I'm gonna try to stay locked in. My market is like a month away, literally, so that's not really a lot of time. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started on this sloth. I'm not sure how much of the process I'll record just because, like I said, it is just a bunch of rounds, but I'll probably, you know, include like some clips of me crocheting, or I might just do like little progress clips. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So last night I started making these little pigs here. The first pig that I made was this one, and I made it in kind of like this traditional like pinkish color with this neon pink, or not neon pink, hot pink nose and the little like nostrils on there. And I wasn't really feeling this color combination, so I moved over to a brown pig, but I didn't put the brown nose on like the little nostril lines, and I think that I kind of like that better without the nostril lines. I don't know, just in general I feel like the less detailed and the more simple the plushies are, the cuter they are, which is why I also don't put like smiley faces on most of my plushies. I just like to leave it without a mouth and just keep the eyes on there. And then this was the second one, so these were kind of like the ones that I saw on the thumbnail. By the way, this pattern is just like a free pig pattern off of YouTube. I'm trying to like stop buying so many patterns, because every time I buy a pattern I make it like once or twice and then I don't make it again until like a year later, so it doesn't make any sense to keep buying them. So these were the first two I made, and then I moved over to this like fleshy color, which I have so many of, 7 or 8 of these skeins on accident because I thought it was a different color. So yeah, I think that this is like the perfect pig color. It looks like an actual pig instead of like the cartoony kind of pig. Yeah, I'm gonna use this pink. Oh, and I also made the eyes a little bit smaller. I went from a 12mm eye, I believe, to a 10mm eye. So these are super cute. I think that the smaller eyes and no nostrils is going to be the style that I go for, but I like this one better. This kind of fits in more so with the style and just the overall look of my plushie, so I'm gonna go with this style. I'm gonna make a few more of these later tonight. Actually, I might make a couple now. They don't really take that long. I set a timer to see how long it takes me to make one pig, and it's about 45 minutes each. I'm gonna make a few more of these. I might make a couple now, so I think I'm gonna make a couple more now, maybe like 1 or 2 more, and I'll update you guys once I get up with the little pigs. Okay, good afternoon guys. So last night I was only able to get 2 extra of those pigs done, so I have a total of 6 of those pigs. I want to get 10 total, but I stopped because I realized that I was out of business cards and I kind of needed to do something about that. I noticed that a lot of people pick up the business cards, but not really a lot of people use them, so instead I just decided to like scrap the business card idea and just give out these little flyers with my Instagram and my YouTube on them, and also my storefront address. I printed out a bunch of these. It should be 100 here, but my printer was acting crazy, so this might be like 100, maybe 80, maybe 95. I have no idea, but so I just decided to print these out just in case people wanted to like keep up with my socials. A lot of people, I haven't had anybody like email me ever, so I just took my email off of the little thing. I just wanted to make it as simple and streamlined as possible. Just got my storefront address on there, and then my Instagram and my YouTube, and then those are QR codes that way people can just scan it. And then this is just on just regular copy paper. I was going to use my cardstock, but like I mentioned, a lot of people don't even like keep up with these, to be honest, so I just did it on regular just white copy paper. So yeah, right now I'm about to like clean these up. I'm probably just going to take off this big edge right here and just leave the top, just because it's just too much work to try to cut that small edge off. I was going to order some little flyers like this, but I couldn't figure out a good way to make them like on Canva or on Microsoft Word, on the Cricut or anything, so I just ended up making this on Procreate. So I just ended up making a background and then just putting my logo on there and just making it real simple, and then just making this whole thing myself because I just couldn't find a good template. So yep, got those. I only have like 100 of these. I hope that's gonna be enough, maybe not. And then the next thing that I did, which I'm super excited about, is I made some little stickers. So these are little 2-inch stickers, and they're 1 inch thick, and this is the perfect size to go onto my little labels. You guys know that I do use these little labels here, and these are the labels that I use. They have the little warning they have the little warning on the back, and then the front is my Instagram, my website, which I took my website down because I wanted to like fully refresh the whole thing, but it should be back up by September. So if y'all have tried to look at my website and like, where is the website at? It's gone because I took it down because I needed to upload stuff on there. So yep, this is the tag, and then these little stickers fit perfectly in this little 2-inch by 1 inch area, so that's perfect. I accidentally did that, like, but most things are 2-inch by 1 inch for little tags, so that worked out perfectly. These are little 2-inch by 2-inch squares. I got these from U Printing, and they are fairly cheap. I think I got like a box of 500 for like 40 bucks or something like that. So yep, super cheap for those. And I just made up a few pages of this. I think I have like 11 pages, and there's 36 on each page. So whatever that amount is, I have those there. This should be more than enough for the plushies that I have. I didn't want to use up all my ink, and my printer is so annoying, like it literally just stops printing. So that's about all that I can get done. So yesterday I was kind of busy doing like behind the scenes stuff because I need to have these, because a lot of people ask for business cards and I don't want to do business cards anymore. So yeah, I'm just going to use these, that way people can at least keep up with my socials. Alright, so before the video ends, I did want to just go through quickly and just show you guys all the things that I crocheted this week. So I got the 6 pigs that I crocheted. I want to eventually get 10 of these, but I like to spread out what I'm doing because then I'll just get burned out on making one thing. So I got 4 of these ones that are going to be my primary colors, and then I also have the 2 brown and pink ones. I ended up cutting the nostrils off this one just because I couldn't deal with nostrils. I don't know, it just looked really weird. So yeah, I ended up cutting the nose off of that one. This one is also super cute, but I feel like it looks like a pug. So I'm not sure how to fix this. Maybe put like some mud spots or something on it. I don't think that I'll be making any more in this color just because I do think that it looks like a pug. So I don't know, do y'all have any like suggestions for how to like make this look more pig-like? It does have the curly tail, but pugs also have that, so I'm just not sure. I think me sticking with this colorway is just the best way to go, and it's less stressful to try to figure out or try to fix it, because like this already takes 45 minutes, and then if I have to go back in and add something else to it, that's adding extra time. So yeah, just let me know what y'all think about the brown pig. I'm not really sure. Next, we have the 2 sharks that I made. I wanted to make one in pink. I forgot that I wanted to make one in pink. Yeah, I have these 2 sharks here. These take about an hour and a half to make just because it is so much sewing. You have to sew the belly on, the fins, the back fins, the top. So, but I actually really like the way that these come out. So I am going to make one in pink, maybe another one in like a lighter blue color, or like maybe a gray I think would be cute. Oh, gray would be cute. A pink one and a gray one. I think that'll be super cute, and then I'll have 4 for the weekend. I think that's perfect. Next thing that I have is this giraffe. This one turned out a little bit bigger than the ones that I usually make, just because the only yellow yarn that I had was this Sweet Snuggles Light, which is a little bit thicker than the Parfait Chunky. These don't normally sell out as quickly as I would hope, but I do have 2 days for this next market, so maybe one will sell each day. Yeah, I think maybe it's the price point that I put these at, but either way, I think that these are super cute for like a little baby or something. So yep, giraffe. Next thing that I have is this cute little chocolate dipped strawberry. I bought this pattern last year during Valentine's Day, and I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I haven't made any except for this one. I was trying to go through my patterns on Etsy and just try to make up a bunch of patterns that I have never made before. And me doing that, I had ended up making this one from last year that I bought. I'm not really sure what I don't like about it. I think maybe it's the colors, or it could be the face, or it could be the face details. I'm definitely going to redo the face. I'm not really sure how I feel about the blush on there. I think it's just because I did the whites around the eyes. I don't normally do whites around the eyes. I don't normally like that style. So I'm definitely going to fix this face. If y'all see this face and it looks completely different in one of the future videos, then you know why. And then lastly, for the big items of this week, we got this sloth here. Went ahead and added on a smile to this one. I think that this one is cuter with the smile. I did have it without, and I was like, oh, this kind of looks like a mouth, because my plushies never really have noses on them anyways. So I thought that this looked like too close to a mouth. So I ended up adding the smile on there, and it turned out super cute. So yeah, I really like this one. And then it has the little legs. It reminds me of like a Squishmallow stackable. I think that that's what this shape is supposed to be like resembling. But yeah, super cute. I have the little tuft of hair on top, and I really like the way that this one came out. This one turned out super, super cute. So yeah, I definitely want to make another one in that silver color that I showed you guys from Sweet Snuggles, especially because that skein has not been opened. I think that that would be a cute color to have for these little sloths, a nice silver one. Next thing that I did was I finished up the tops of these, so I went ahead and added on the strawberries. So I just really like the way the strawberry looks on top of the cream and then on top of the little roll cake. So I had 10 of these. I can't find all 10. I put them inside of the bag. I don't know if my cat like took one out to play with it, but I only have 9 so far, so I'm definitely gonna have to find that 10th one. Next thing we have are the little reindeer. I went ahead and put the faces on these 7 reindeer that I have the little red noses, the little eyes, and these turned out super cute. I was gonna turn these into keychains, but I actually think that these work better as little decorations, just because if people have like a little Christmas scene that they're decorating, or like little kids want to have like a little Christmas scene in their room, they can add these on there. But on the other hand, last year I did have a tree inside a painted tree where I was hanging these things on there, but I don't think that that requires me to put a keychain on there and use up material. I can just use like the safety hanger or tie on a piece of yarn and just use that as a hanger. So I'm not gonna add keychains onto these. I might do like how I did at the Crawfish Festival and offer, if people want me to put a keychain on there, then I will. But yeah, for right now, these are just little figurines. So yep, got 7 of these. I am definitely gonna make more of these because last year I made like 20 and they all sold. So I'm definitely gonna be making more of these. I ended up just finding that roll cake. I couldn't find it. It was in the bottom of the bag. Alright, so that's everything that I was able to complete this week, along with the price tags for the plushies and also my new and improved, air quotes, new and improved little business contact information. So yes, if you guys are excited to see more market prep vlogs and also what I crocheted this week and also just other crochet small business content, please leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys would like to see next. Also, don't forget to subscribe and follow my Instagram at introvertcrossing, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.